sock monkeys are kind of a thing in our family. Every little kid in our family, I've made one for them. So the grandkids and my children, and it's just something that I've been making for years and years. This is one that I actually made for my husband for Valentine's Day one year. I want to try and make them in miniature, and I'll show you how I did it. So, you know those cheap stretchy gloves that you can buy at the dollar store? Well, I bought a 2-pack of them, and I'm going to use the light blue one. I was kind of disappointed I wasn't able to find gray, but light blue will work. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just turning it inside out. Now all the fingers are pretty much the same size except for the pinky finger, so the little finger on your hand. So that will be the finger that I'm going to be using to make the actual monkey. So I'm just going to draw on here to show you what I'm doing. So these are going to be 2 arms. So what I'm drawing in red is where my stitches are going to go. And those are the 2 arms. And I've already done the one out of the pinky, but I'm going to draw it so I can show you how I'm actually going to sew it. So I'm just going to sew a little line like that and a little line like that. So right where those 2 lines are, that's where the stitches go. So you can see there and there. And so that will be the body. So there's one that's actually completed. Now I'm working on the actual arms. So I'll start from the beginning after I'm finished sewing the arms. So I'll just show you how I do it. So I'm just using plain white sewing thread. And because these are such a pale blue color, the sewing thread doesn't show up at all. So during the process of this video, I sped everything up to 8 times the normal speed just so you don't have to watch paint dry because it takes me a while when I hand. So I guess one could probably do this on a machine just as easily. It would probably take seconds to do on the sewing machine. I was too lazy to pull my sewing machine out of the basement and bring it upstairs just to do this little bit of sewing. So you can see here I'm just sewing on the red lines, and that will become my 2 arms for the monkey. So I know it looks like messy stitches, and they probably are out of fairness, but it doesn't really matter because you're not going to see them once they're turned inside out. So you can see here I'm trimming the bottom of it, and then I'm going to cut the arms out. So I'm leaving a little tiny bit of a seam allowance so that it doesn't totally fall apart when I turn them inside out. And I am not going to stuff the arms or the legs of this little monkey at all. So the reason why is the thickness of the actual yarn or what have you, the fabric that these gloves are made out of is quite thick enough to, once it's turned inside out with the seam allowance, it's quite thick enough to make for little stuffy arms. So there's arm number 1, and you can see here I'm just turning in inside out, arm number 2. And don't forget, if you're going to make these yourself, to start out with your actual gloves inside out, because you want to be doing all the sewing on the wrong side. So when you turn it inside out, then they will be on the right side. So there you go. I'm just kind of sticking the blunt end of the scissors in there. And there you go. I've got 2 arms. So now I'm just quickly showing you how I sewed the body. And as you can see here, I'm using the little pinky finger for this because it is just slightly less wide than the actual other pieces. So I got 1/2 of it done, and so now I'm doing the other half. So they're basically little L's that I'm forming. So you'll see in a minute when I go to cut it out. So it's quite easy to do, and it takes hardly any time at all. And these gloves are pretty tiny. It'd be kind of neat if I could find children's size ones maybe, so that I could make it even smaller. So there you go. There's the stitches there, and that part in the crotch area is still open, and I'm not going to sew that together until I get the body of the monkey stuffed. So you can see here I'm sort of off frame, but it was inside out, and I'm turning it right side in. So now I've got a little bit of fiber fill. You could use cotton, or you could even use the leftover parts that you cut off of the gloves to stuff it with if you don't have fiber fill. But I happen to have some fiber fill, and I'm just taking the end of a paintbrush, and I'm going to go into the crotch area and stuff the upper body of the monkey. Now, once it's stuffed, it's going to be quite, it's not going to have a defined head, so the head and the body be all the same. So I'm going to have to put some stitches in to define the head of it. So there you go, it's stuffed, and that looks pretty good to me. And just making sure that all the fiber fill is on the inside. And now I'm going to have to take a needle and thread, and once again sew the crotch area closed so that the fiber fill will securely stay inside of the monkey. And once again, just the same as the arms, I did not stuff the legs at all. So I've sewn the crotch area together, and there you go. That's my entire monkey. I know it doesn't look like much, but I have to make a defined head. So you can see here, I'm just going to go and do stitches all the way around the top half of the body, and then tie it tight, and then that'll make it look like it's got a little head on it. See? It looks much better than just leaving it all in one piece. The head has to be defined, definitely. So now I've got that done. Now all I need to do is sew my little arms on. I think that if I was to make another one of these monkeys, I'd probably make the arms a little thinner than these ones, but I'm just working with what I've got. As I say, this was just an idea that I came up with. It was in my head, and I figured, I'll just try it. So, it's not perfect, but it's intended to be fun. Here's the thing with miniatures. I mean, like, really, the sky's the limit. Everything that you see in your real life, there's no reason why you can't try and make it in miniature. And this is proof of that. So, is this little sock monkey perfect? Absolutely not. Are my big sock monkeys perfect? Nope, they aren't either. So now I've got a little piece of red fabric. It's just like a little piece of cotton fabric, and I'm just gonna cut out the shape of the mouth. So and it's just kind of like a little moon shape, half circle. And then I did it on the fold, so when it unfolds, it'll be the same on both the bottom and the top, which is basically the basic shape of how I make my big sock monkeys. So the one that I showed you earlier that I made for my husband, that mouth was crocheted with red yarn, but generally speaking, I use felt for the mouths on most of my most of the sock monkeys that I've made in the past. I just didn't have any when I made that one for my husband, so I used what I had. Red yarn works. So there you go. So that's the little mouth that's going to go on it. And once again, I'm going to speed up the film, and I'm just going to do a little blanket stitch all the way around the mouth. You'll be able to see the white cotton thread, which is just fine by me. I think it'll give it a nice homemade kind of look, and I'm just doing a little blanket stitch all the way around. You could glue it on if you don't want to see stitches on it. I kind of did it like this on purpose because I wanted to have a real homemade look. But if you didn't want that, of course, you could just glue the little piece of fabric on, or for that matter, you could use felt on it. There's no reason why you couldn't, or you could embroider little mouth and nose and eyebrows and everything with embroidery thread. So whatever way you want to decorate it is, the sky's the limit, whatever works right for you. I'm just trying to make this little miniature monkey look as close to the real monkeys that I make in real life. So there he is with his little mouth sewn on. I think he's kind of cute. I am definitely going to have to sew his arms down so that they don't stick out so far. And you can see here I've also sewn two little glass sea beads on in bright blue. So he's got little eyeballs now. And then this is the wrist part of the glove, and you can see it's kind of got ridges on it. So I'm going to cut a couple of ridges off of it, and those will become his little ears. So you can see the ridges. So I'm just kind of cutting a couple of pieces out, and then I'm going to stitch it a million times, turn it into a round shape, and that will be the ears that I'll be able to sew on the sides of the head. This monkey looks like an alien without ears. They have to have ears. That's that's the only way they look decent. So I'm just going to once again take out the thread, needle and thread, and I'm gonna sew my little ears together. So with this, there's quite a lot of kind of shredding because it's not perfect, but if you put enough stitches in it, it certainly won't fray. So now I've sewed the ears on. I didn't bore you by filming that part. So the ears are completely sewn on, just kind of adjusting the little eyeballs. And I have tacked down the arms a little bit. So that's my little tiny monkey. He's so little. So you can see how small he is compared to the one that I made for my husband. And is he perfect? Nah, not at all. But I think he's pretty cute. I think he would look really cute as a ragdoll monkey or a sock monkey on the foot of a bed. And I did find some more of these earrings, which I'm just astounded that I found these. Found them at the Goodwill, which is a charity shop here in Edmonton, and they were quite inexpensive, so I just thought I'd share them with you. I now have 5 that I can work with, so that will be 5 additional lamps that I can add to my stash, or ceiling lights maybe in the new house. If you enjoyed today's video and would like to help support my channel, you can do so by buying me a coffee. Just go to www.buymeacoffee.com/Lisa Dobo. I'd like to thank everyone that has helped to support my channel by going to buymeacoffee.com. It's appreciated more than you know and really helps out. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing. It's free to do so, and it really does help my channel grow. Please hit that notification bell, and then that way you'll know every time I upload a new video. And hit that like button because that also helps my channel grow. And thanks again for watching my video. I'm really kind of tickled with this little monkey. I think he's going to look really cute inside of a nursery, inside of a crib or something like that. That's what I plan to do with him. It's too bad he isn't gray. I would have preferred a gray monkey because that's just kind of what I'm looking at. When I usually make them in full size, I always use gray work socks. Well, everyone, once again, have the best day ever, and we'll see you soon.